For 40 long years, a small problem amused a small town in Alberta, Canada. A long-lost safe simply refused to budge open, no matter how many people took a try at it. Hello, wonderful people. I'm Scott Leffler for WonderBot. And here is, after 4 decades, man finally cracks code to puzzling safe. Before we begin, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to our channel, and click the notification bell for more amazing videos. For years, numerous locksmiths gave the safe their best efforts, but no one seemed to be able to open it. So the safe was placed in a museum, awaiting that one lucky person who held the power to open that uncrackable safe. One day, Stephen Mills took his young kids and wife to the Vermilion Heritage Museum. The 36-year-old was probably expecting to have a nice but uneventful day with his family. When we go camping every summer, he told reporters, we've come to learn that every small town, no matter where you go, has something to offer. It was this nice outlook on life that led Stephen to do something that was 40 years in the making. See, the workers at the Vermilion Heritage Museum like to present their visitors with a challenge. Why not try your hand at figuring out the code to this uncrackable safe? They would ask everyone who came through their doors. Maybe today will be our lucky day. Well, Stephen and his family were no different than other visitors, so of course they were asked these same questions. That day, tour guide Tom Kibblewhite led the Mills family through the museum. At the end of the tour, he explained the long-running story of what they called the iron safe. Stephen's ears immediately perked up. A safe that nobody could open, and nobody knew what was inside? This kind of challenge was right up Stephen's alley. The 36-year-old had a feeling that he could open it. The family's tour guide went on to explain that prior to the safe's residence at Vermilion Heritage Museum, it sat at the Brunswick Hotel. After tracing back the safe's history, the museum staff believed that it was purchased way back in 1907, just shortly after the hotel officially opened. Since the safe's arrival to the museum in the 90s, it had never been opened. Unfortunately, the combination lock had long been forgotten. The museum even tried seeking help from the safe's manufacturer, but they were no help. After years of trying to pry open the safe to no avail, it became part of the museum's tour and eventually puzzled the entire town. What was inside the safe, and why couldn't it be opened? The entire town accepted the fact that it would never be opened. With men, women, children, locksmiths, and even the manufacturer unable to open the safe, who else was there to turn to? But there had to be someone out there that was capable of revealing what was hidden inside. Luckily for everyone, Stephen Mills was just the hero that the town of Vermilion needed. Their King Arthur, clad in a plaid button-up t-shirt and jeans. I was like, I gotta get down and try this for a laugh, Stephen told the Washington Post in 2019. I was doing it as a joke for the kids, trying to be like in the movies, more or less. So Stephen got down on the floor like thousands before him and began fiddling with the lock. Museum employees watched in amusement as yet another person tried their hand at opening the uncrackable safe. However, the staff underestimated Stephen's ability. He was unlike the people that came before him. As a welder and machinist by trade, Stephen noticed that the lock's dial ran from 0 to 60. He tried to think about the code logically. No one expected much as Stephen spun the lock through the simple combination 20, 40, 60. What happened next came to complete and utter shock. After the final number, the lock clicked, and with a cloud of dust, the door swung open. Excitement swept through the museum. Someone actually guessed the combination to the safe. The iron safe was finally open. Did Stephen Mills ever think that he was going to be the safe opening prodigy before that day? No, he did not. But we'll get to that later. Now there's a treasure to behold. Over the course of 4 decades, the residents of this small town in Alberta amused themselves by guessing what was inside the uncrackable safe. Some said it contained piles of gold, while others said rubies and emeralds were locked in the safe. But they were all wrong. Behind that iron door and hidden under a thin layer of dust were relics of the 70s. To some people, yellow pads of paper and a crumpled waitress notepad with a scribbled order for a mushroom burger might not have been the most valuable of treasures. But for the people of Vermilion who knew about the safe, those relics were part of one hilarious story. They have no value really, but they are of great interest to us, Kibblewhite told the BBC. It gives us a little bit of an idea of what places were like in the 1977, 78, the museum worker continued. So maybe it wasn't a real treasure inside the safe, but these papers' sentimental value was priceless. As for Stephen, he was surprised by his feat. Stephen says that the 20-40-60 combination came to him out of thin air. Can you imagine? Stephen left the museum riding high after his victory. Right away, I stood up and I was like, I'm buying a lottery ticket tonight. Well, some people may not agree with the idea of a lucky streak. Others have proven that it holds some weight, especially according to Jeffrey Rosenthal, an expert on chance from the University of Toronto. According to Jeffrey, the chances of Stephen correctly guessing the correct combination was pretty slim. In fact, Stephen had a 1 in 216,000 chance of correctly guessing the safe's combination. Some skeptics out there might say, what about the 3-digit leeway that exists on many combination lock safes? Well, don't worry, Jeffrey accounted for that too. Even with a 3-digit leeway, Stephen had a 1 in 8,000 chance of guessing the correct combination. That's still pretty slim. So what was Stephen's secret? Luck? Fate? A bit of genius? Well, the way we see it, it was probably a combination of all three.